Hola, amigos! Brad the Big Noise Evans here. It's time once again to bring the noise. I'm going to be here for the next 45, 50 minutes or so, leading up to kick off the main slate NFL Week 3. Hopefully, got off to a fruitful start on Thursday night, and the matchup that kind of went the way that everybody anticipated between the 49ers and the New York Giants. But a lot of news and notes out there. Hopefully, you're caught up on who's in, who is out of the lineup. And we got a little bit of weather playing a factor as well. As I discussed earlier today on the X, going to give it to you at Noisy Huevos is my handle. Hopefully, you're watching the stream there, or on Twitch, or on Facebook, or on the YouTube. And you can see there are several different ways to get a hold of me at the bottom of your screen. If you have any pressing fantasy football questions or needs, or maybe a hot sports betting take that you want my take on, or you just want to share with the group, please hit me up via those three different apparatuses that you see at the bottom of your screen. But again, the remnants of Ophelia, tropical storm that made landfall in North Carolina just like a day and a half ago, has been impacting the Delmarva region of the United States. That's the area of the Beltway. So DC to Baltimore, steady, constant rain. The faucet has turned off here the last few hours, but it is expected to ramp back up the precip during game time today. That doesn't mean you got to sit, Lamar Jackson. That doesn't mean you got to sit anybody in that Commanders matchup against the Buffalo Bills. I think if there was any kind of downgrade, it's a very, very slight downgrade, the passing attacks of Buffalo and Washington, and also in the matchup with the Baltimore Ravens and Indianapolis Colts. But wind is not going to play a major factor. Sustained winds probably going to be around 8 to 11 miles per hour in each of those locales. But you could have some on and off heavy showers during the course of the game. So it could get a little bit sloppy. But right now, so far, so good, as a lot of the bulk of the energy has pushed off into central Pennsylvania and northwest of that area. So there is your weather update here on Bring the Noise. And again, do exactly that via the three ways there at the bottom of your screen. On Facebook, on my account there, still the old handle at Yahoo Noise. On Twitch at Big Noise 78, or on the YouTube on the Feed the Noise channel. And hopefully you're subscribing and listening to Nathaniel Lundy and I 3 times a week. We're going to have a new episode tomorrow, the Fade 5 podcast. It's 30 minutes. We get down and dirty on our favorite wagers across the entirety of the sports landscape. It's more than just football. We've had a lot of action with the seams, the stitches in Major League Baseball as well. And of course, we're going to ramp it up as the basketball season gets underway here a little bit later on now this fall, because the autumnal equinox was yesterday. All right, before I get to your questions and comments, let me give you my top 5 player props on the board on this NFL Week 3 Sunday. Let's start off with a Sledgehammer special. I wrote about it and posted it on the X. Again, I'm an unemployed writer right now, but I still have the itch, and it needs to be scratched. So I, put together a few sentences, throw on a random dick joke, and have a little fun with some of the reasoning on each of the wagers that are out there. And I did exactly that with Roschon Johnson. And the dick jokes, of course, were a layup with his last name, but a guy whose role is expected to increase there in Chicago. And I know the Windy City right now is the newest dysfunction junction in the NFL in light of the Alan Williams development, with him resigning this week. Justin Fields calling out the coaching staff, basically saying, hey, I need to be me. I need to run. Quit trying to make me pocket tied. And just the product of the field. You could easily argue, and it really is kind of a windmill slam dunk, the Bears are the worst team in the NFL. And as a diehard Bears fan, it's killing me. The Cubs are killing me as well, although they got the victory yesterday. It's been rough going in Chicago. The beer has been thankful to numb the pain, but you know me, I'm going harder. I'm going Mas Tequila and sipping on a little Casa Noble Añejo. Picked up a bottle of that at my local liquor store on Friday. I had to endure a crap task performance by my Illini yesterday. It's just bad. in these neck of the woods in terms of the sports consumption. But speaking on Johnson specifically, his role is increasing. And his role as a pass catcher is also increasing. Last week, he ran 47% of the routes. And a guy I think is going to get the upper hand here in short order over Khalil Herbert. I think Roschon Johnson's just, bigger body back, more talented, gets more appreciable yards after contact, and he's got soft, adept hands. And Justin Fields, if he chooses to throw, I think it's going to dump down to the rookie runner. They're out of the University of Texas. Could be around 50 or so total yards. I also took him on the total yards prop when it opened immediately at BetMGM. That number was at 34.5. It's already jumped to 48.5 at some books. I'd still play the over on that. But if you want to strip it down and just focused on one category, I think it's receiving yards. I know Kansas City is much improved so far through 2 games in their short field coverage, but Roschon Johnson's going to have a prominent role. The Bears may lose this thing by 50 points. They're 12.5-point underdogs, so they're already in catch-up mode. They're going to step off the bus down 20-0. So I think Roschon will have a prominent role as a pass catcher more so than a runner today. So give me him over 10.5 receiving yards. Numero cuatro here on the Bring the Noise Player Props Countdown. Give me Sam Laporta, the pride of Iowa. Got embarrassed, got owned last night in Happy Valley by the Penn State Nittany Lions. But anyway, focusing on his current employer, and that is Detroit and the Lions. I'm going to take the over on 3.5 receptions for him at minus 113. Pull this one from FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm Monroe St. Brown. Dealing with a nettlesome toe setback. Expectations are he's going to play, but could be limited in some capacity. So if he is, who's going to do all the dirty work? I think it's going to be Sam Laporta over the middle of the field, working between the hash marks. A guy in week 1, 5 targets, 5 catches, 39 yards. And then week 2, 6 targets, 5 receptions for 63 yards. So already showing that he could be a king of consistency, whether in fantasy or the sports betting market. And you look at the ATL. The Falcons, through 2 games combined against Carolina and Green Bay, allowed 10 receptions for 73 yards and a touchdown to the tight end position. And they're kind of middle of the pack right now overall, and drop back EPA defense. So essentially pass defense, number 18 in that category. So pulled all together, Sam Laporta over 3.5 receptions, minus 113 at FanDuel. I think he finishes with like 5 for a buck, not a buck 55, for like a 55. That would be an insane game. He went for 155 yards. So 5 for 55, double nickel makes a whole lot of sense to me. Numero tres here to Bring the Noise Player Props Countdown. Let's go to Cleveland and let's get the Pooper Cooper who may smell like potpourri, and that is Amari Cooper on this SGP. If you dig it, come with me. I think Cooper gets 4+ receptions, and I believe Cooper then turns those 4+ receptions into 60 or more yards. Yeah, slap those 2 bad boys together, and it's even money at plus 100 at BetMGM. You don't have to go like 7-leggers. As I jokingly always say, you don't have to go full Calvin Ridley in the SGP market. There are ways to take advantage of generally crappy odds, and a way to do it is with like 2 or 3 layers at most, get it at plus money, and then hopefully can win and accumulate the units in the process. Why am I on Cooper? Well, he's going against the Tennessee Titans. And as I have described the Titans before, they're a bunch of hungry hippos against the run. The marbles that they're gobbling up are of the running back variety, but on the back end, they're vulnerable. And if Deshaun Watson's going to get right, he has got to feed his playmakers through the air. And Cooper obviously is that guy. I know he had the tender love muscle on the Monday night affair, but man, he looked dynamite. 7 catches, 90 yards in that game. He's going to get a lot of Sean Murphy bunting in this contest. It was a lot of 129.4 passer rating, 66.7 catch rates so far this year. A guy has been torched early and often. The Tennessee Titans as a collective, that secondary, giving up 8.24 pass yards per attempt. 5 guys have already gone over 60 yards against them. And again, you look at Cooper, 3 for 77 in week 1. It fell short there in the catch category, but easily clear the hurdle in yardage. And then 7 for 90 last week. Number 19 in ADOT and seeing 24.6, a very healthy amount of the team target share percentage. So again, Amari Cooper, 4 more catches. Amari Cooper, 60 or more yards, plus 100, little baby. Seduced by the juice there at BetMGM. Numero dos here on the Bring the Noise Player Props Countdown ahead of week number 3 on the main slate. Give me Nuclear Nico Collins, because that's exactly what he's done. I'm going to take the over on 4.5 receptions against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the best odds right now at FanDuel at plus 118 plus money for one of the hottest wide receivers out of the gate this NFL season. Yes, please, and thank you. You look at Nico Collins, 26.7% of the team target share he has seen. That's 20 total targets over the first 2 games, 13.5 average depth of target, number 5 in total air yards, and a very handsome 3.01 yards per route run. Again, try to say that 10 times fast. So all the advanced analytics are like, man, this guy is dynamite. And the service numbers echo that sentiment. 6 for 80 and 7 for 146 he has done in back-to-back first 2 games. Going to get a whole lot of Darius Williams in coverage. And he has been quite a kind, quite a friendly DB in this Jacksonville secondary. He's given up a 72.7 catch percentage and 102.8 passer rating over the first couple of weeks, and 3 wideouts have grabbed at least 55 yards, against Jacksonville so far this season. So I think it's like something 5 to 7 receptions. I think it's north of like 70 yards. So if you want to pair this with his yardage, like I did with Amari Cooper, and get those odds even juicier, it ain't a bad move. Nuclear Nico gonna detonate in the box score today for the Houston Texans against Jacksonville. And numero uno here on the Bring the Noise Player Props Countdown. It's somebody you weren't remotely thinking, but I was waiting on pins and needles for a player prop to finally surface at the various sports books, and it did last night. I was like 3 tequilas in, and I had to rub my eyes. I did it again. Oh, and a triple take. I'm like, oh my God, it is. It's available, and the number's so low. It's Justin Watson. 19.5 receiving yards. If you have no idea what Justin Watson does for a living, he's a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. True story, because of injuries, because my team royally sucks in one fantasy league, and it's like a 16-teamer. I picked him up. I'm playing him at wide receiver 3 because I think he is going to be a long bomb specialist in this matchup, and it's a mother of all matchups against those Berenstein and / Gummy Bears of Chicago. Watson, I don't know if you've noticed some of the advanced data, but it's off the charts right now. Number 1 is he in average depth of target with an insane number of 25.5. He's averaging 21.4 yards per catch, the 4th highest of any wide receiver through 2 weeks. 3.00 yards per route run. That is number 11 among wideouts in the NFL. Week 1, he went 4 targets, 2 catches for 45 yards. Last week, 5 targets, 3 catches for 62 yards. All the guy does is play deep ball pitch and catch with the best quarterback in the NFL. And that guy, you might have heard of him. His name is Mahomes, Patrick. So I think the duo was going to be dynamic, maybe in a couple instances today, because the Bears secondary is dreadful. 9.21 pass yards per attempt. They have given up so far this season. 16.6 yards per catch to wide receivers. Number 31 in EPA pass defense. And specifically, going to see probably a lot of Ty Stevenson there in that secondary. And Stevenson this season has given up 18.5 yards per catch and a 148.6 passer rating. Look, I'm a numbers nerd, and you might say to yourself, well, yeah, this is a low volume play. This is a stab in the dark. Evans, you're drunk. Get off your rocker, man. Well, look, sometimes you got to roll the dice, and I'm going to clack and do exactly that. And hopefully we're going to come up with snake eyes in this instance, because I think Watson over 19.5 receiving yards. I feel confident and hopeful this one cashes, and it could cash instantaneously in the matchup between the Bears and the Chiefs. So give me that over 19.5 receiving yards, and early bonus time. I also like Justin Watson over 15.5 yards for his longest reception. Again, guys averaging 21.4 yards per catch. The Bears are giving up 16.6 to wideouts through 2 games. They're lousy. They're terrible. And this is why I drink. All right, so there you go. My player props on the board. Some betting insights. Of course, use that for fantasy purposes as well. You DFS players out there looking for some sleepers and hopefully go to cash. Justin Watson could be that dude. All right, once again, I'm about to dive into all your questions and comments as I always do. Submit them via the 3 ways there at the bottom of your screen on Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on the Twitch at Big Noise 78, or on my YouTube channel, and I hope you're subscribing to that right now at Fade the Noise and checking out the podcast I do with the good sir Nathaniel Lundy 3 days per week. I may not be on Sirius XM anymore, but you can still access all of my shoddy singing and advice. All right, let's go ahead and get to it right now. And man, are the comments coming in fast and furious. Bat and lead off. We're going to go with George. George says, hola, amigo. Hola, Jorge. Madison or Kelly, full point PPR. Oh, same game, different names. I like Joshua Kelly. And I wrote about him as a fantasy flame this week. I know we had a very uneventful week 2, but again, no Austin Eckler. I'm probably going to get at least 13 to 15 carries, maybe a catch or 2 in the game. I realized he only forced 2 missed tackles this year. I also realized he only got a 2.59 yak per attempt. I mean, he looks like a jag, just a guy. But Minnesota, number 19 EPA defense, number 26 in EPA rush defense through 2 weeks. They're giving up 4.77 yards per carry and 143 rush yards per game just to running backs. I think it's at least 60 yards and a touchdown for Josh Kelly today. And Alexander Madison, time is running out, man. Cam Akers in town, probably going to be active next week, and it's going to be a full-blown ugly RBBC up there in the land of 10,000 lakes. Let's go to Sean. Hola, amigo. Hola. I need a quarterback, Fields or Stafford? Gracias. I've got a lot of these questions about Matt Stafford in particular. I think Stafford, bar none, has a higher floor. And I got to give credit where credit is due. I never saw this coming with Matthew Stafford. What he has done and the magic that he's made with Puka Nacua is unbelievable. It's godlike. And that combination, I think, is going to be very active on Monday night. It's not like Cincinnati is really shutting anybody down defensively. You look at the Bengals this season, they're number 22 overall in EPA defense. And in terms of EPA pass defense, number 25. 25. Time's gotten tough there in Cincinnati. We don't know if Joe Burrow's going to play. Very much up in the air, that status. But I think Stafford has really spread the ball around more to, not only Puka getting Tyler Higbee involved, and, of course, Tutu Atwell, who's been quite a surprise sensation. So Fields, I know he's disgruntled. I know he's pissed off. I think he's going to revert to the player that he was last year and running early and often. That presents a lot of upside, but the Bears are just so discombobulated right now and embarrassing. I had a little dad pun there. That I'm going to go with a guy with a higher floor. Give me Stafford on Monday night instead of Fields today. Ryan says Pickens or Flowers. I'll take Pickens. And again, I think that's where potentially the rain does play a small factor and really a deciding one in this matchup. I mean, I'm not saying that Zay's going to get completely shut down. It could be another 4 or 5 catches for 60 yards, but I think Pickens' upside, you saw it in the last game, is enormous. So go with him. Jimmy says, hey, Brad, pick one, a full point PPR. McKinnon, Herbert, or Roschon Johnson. Oh, that's Roschon for me, especially in the PPR. Again, the Bears stepping off the bus, going to be down 20-0. So I believe he's going to play an instant role as a pass catcher in this game. And in fact, I think he's going to get around 55 to 60, maybe upwards of 65% of the opportunity share over Khalil Herbert. He's just the better back. The Bears need to see what they have in him. And I think it starts today. Big body dude. It's, 6 feet, 220 pounds. I think he gets it done. Coda says, amigo, hola. Need a quarterback too and a tight end and a half-point PPR. Baker or Stroud, slightly into Baker Mayfield. And believe it or not, I'm starting both of these guys in a super flex league. Yeah. Desperate times already call for desperate measures. Laporta or Pitts, and Laporta for me all day for the reasons I mentioned in that player props countdown. George came back with another question: Kirk Cousins or Justin Herbert? Give me Justin Herbert, but I think they're going to be really back to back in the rankings this week. Corey says, "Hola, Brad. Yuck." Stream Taysom Hill, who I just wagered on a rush yards prop. It took the over on 30.5, or Hayden Hurst with Andy Dalton under center. I'm going to go with Hurst. And we had Senior Fun Buns on Live and Line. It's a television show that I created, EP, and I co-star on with Cam Smith and also with Danny Kluppinger. Funson's on the show on Fridays. Tank Williams making appearances on Thursdays. We got quite the cavalcade of voices, and we have a ton of fun on that show. It's lightning fast, hour long, heavily segmented. So even if you catch, bits and pieces of it, I think you're going to be thoroughly entertained, and you're getting information to push you one direction or another on a particular wager. And Funston on that show, by the way, it airs Monday through Friday on the Bally Sports RSNs and watchstadium.com/live at noon Eastern time. Funston goes, I'm all in on Hayden Hurst everything. Seattle has this tendency just to not guard plus size targets. And I kind of agree with Funston. I mean, Hill's a fascinating guy. I think he's going to get probably 6-7 carries. Again, I love him in the rush yards market. But if he doesn't find the end zone, he is limited. And if there's any part of PPR in your league, Hurst has got far more upside. All right, Steve goes, morning. Hola, Steve. Hope all's well. Yeah, it is. Everything's good in my hood. I can say that right now, except for my sports fandom, which just really sucks. PPR league, need to flex out of Rashid Shaheed, Joshua Kelly. Kelly's in. Sutton or Christian Kirk. I'm going to go with Kelly and Christian Kirk in a PPR. Hockey Nut on the Twitch. Hola, amigo. Hola, Hockey Nut. I need 2 at a full point PPR. Monster, DJ Moore, Hollywood, Tutu, Jacoby Myers, and Nico Collins. Nico, automatic. Gotta be in. Jacoby's interesting. But I'm going to go with Mostert. I'm going to go with the guaranteed touches there. Probably going to get around 15 to 17, a couple of receptions, a lot of upside, and what should be a positive game script against the Mile High My Little Ponies. I lived in Denver for 7 years. Absolutely loved it. But Denver, the Broncos, they're already in the glue factory. So give me Mostert, and then give me Nico Collins. The only Sutton says Ridley over Zay Flowers. Yes, please. Luis says noise. Hola. With Watson out, that's Christian Watson, not Deshaun Watson for you people watching. I'm stuck picking between Pierce or Dell. I'm leaning Dell. If it's a PPR, I would go Dell. If it's a standard league, probably more upside there with Dameon Pierce. Sorry. I know it's kind of on the fence. Next is Gainwell or Craig Reynolds and a deep league bad team. I'm really curious what Philly's going to do today. How much work is DeAndre Swift really going to get? Man, he looked dynamite. I think he's going to get more of the upper hand. He's just a more talented baseline back compared to Kenneth Gainwell. I think Craig Reynolds could be sneaky good. I really do today against the ATL. You look at what Atlanta has done. They've gone quite a bit to opposing running backs already in the young year. You got a top 10 offensive line. I think he's going to get around 10 to 12 carries. And this is the God's honest truth, because in a deeper league, I'm so desperate for a second running back with Saquon out, and I didn't have a whole lot of depth on that team. I picked up Craig Reynolds, and I'm starting him today. So let's ride! All right, John, first-time caller, long-time listener. Oh, thanks for joining, John. I need 2 running backs and a flex. Gibbs in automatic. I mean, teams already talking about they're going to get him more work today. I think at a minimum, you're looking at probably 14, 15 touches. And with his electricity and those legs, they could be spectacular touches. So give me Gibbs, Connor Williams, Algier, or Dameon Pierce. I need 2 running backs. I'm going to go Gibbs. I'm going to go Tyler Algier, who I still think is going to get 15 carries. And by the way, it's like 10.5 carries. Rush attempts on the player props market this morning. I saw. I slammed it over on that. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then a flex. Give me Mike Williams over Connor and Pierce. Beer Blaster. Hey, Brad. Hey, Beer Blaster. Guillotine League half point PPR need 2. Mooney, Parker, Samuel, Barrios. Barrios could be sneaky awesome today. I took the over on, it's just 2.5 receptions. That's an extra player prop that I wagered on at BetMGM this morning. So I'm going to take Braxton Berrios. And I'm going to go Devontae Parker, a little bit more upside over the other options there. I don't know what we're going to get with Justin Fields, honestly, today, outside of him running probably more often. Holy cow. James got a lot of options here. All PPR, Juggernaut Javonte, Jerome Ford, Brian Robinson, Zach Moss. Need 2. I'm sitting forward this week. Again, those hungry hippos of the Tennessee Titans, I think are going to bottle him up. Give me Zach Moss for 1, and I'll take Javonte Williams the other one. It's really close between him and Brian Robinson. And then he's got Sanders, Ford, Javonte Williams, Najee Harris. He 2 out of that group. It's Javonte Williams again, and I'll go Miles Sanders there. And then Pickens, Mike Williams, DJ Moore, Tony, and Dobbs. Need 1. Good Lord. Just give me the keys of your team, man. I'm going to go with Pickens. They're all somewhat excellent options. Luis says half-point PPR on the Pierce or Dell flex conundrum. I think I already answered that when I went Pierce. Steve Lindor, need 2 in a PPR. Sky Moore, Sutton, Kelly. Kelly's in. White is in. There you go. It's Kelly and White for me. Brandon Stockton, hola and cheers. Hola and cheers to you. Start 2, Javonte Williams, Gainwell, Scary Terry, Nico Collins. Nico's in. Listen, people, if you have Nico, you play Nico. He's going to be straight nasty in the best way possible. So give me Nico. With Aaron Jones out, A.J. Dillon is fast, and Gallup, Achane not even in the conversation. I'm definitely okay. So Collins, it's either Javonte or Dillon. I'm gonna go Javonte Williams. Slice of edges there. Ertz or Njoku from J Red. Give me Ertz. Kayvon Beasley says, "Adios, amigo." Should I start? Adios. That's like bye. You gotta say hola. That's hello. If you want to say adios, I'll just move on. Basic Spanish, man. Come on. I took 4 years in high school, and I know adios and hola and donde está el baño. That's about it. Should I start Garrett Wilson, Ramondre Stevenson, James Cook, Puka Nacua, or Kenneth Walker? Clearly in a 6-team league, if you have those options. He needs 2. I'm going to go with Stevenson, and you can't say Puka. It's really close between Stevenson and Walker. Ryan says, pick 2, Ramondre, Dylan, Kelly, or Javonte. It's Kelly, and it's Jerry says, half-point PPR, flex 2, needs 2. Zach Moss, Breece Hall, Gabe Davis, or Michael Thomas. Moss is in. I'm going to go with a guaranteed volume there. Kind of touch and go right now. Breece Hall, a lot of sack fronts he's seen because of Zach Wilson effect. Gabe Davis, weather could play a factor in the DC game. He could be a bit of a roller coaster ride. Honestly, the highest floor of the remaining options is Michael Thomas, and that floor being like 5 for 60. So I would play that and hope for a little bit more. SGP, yeah, that's right, Shoemaker. Casey to win all 4 quarters, under 58.5 points. Plus 900 with the boost at DraftKings too. Spicy. Oh, very spicy. I love it. Bears are going to get rolled. You watch. The Bears will somehow pull one out of their ass and be competitive in this game. But I like that. Kansas City win all 4 quarters, and then you're taking the under because the Bears are going to be lucky to score 10 points in this game at 58.5, and you're getting plus 900, 9-1 odds with the boost. Good luck to you, Shoemaker. I'm digging that. Jimmy says Dak or Goff. I'm going to take Dak by the slightest. Dak by the slightest margin. I like Jared Goff. Fantasy Flame Material wrote about it on the X yesterday. Cooper or Godwin. Love both of them. Amari Cooper for me. Sean, Flex, need 1 in a full-point PPR. B-Rob, Javonte, Nacua. It's Nacua. Come on. You got to play him. I mean, the guy just catches like 10 balls seemingly every week. Till Cooper Kupp comes back, it's going to be that story moving forward. Top of the morning to you, bro. From Chris, who do you like? DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy. Oh, Jerry Jeudy. No bear. Connor. Brad. Connor. I need 1. Gus Edwards, Breece Hall, Rashad White. I think Gus Bus scores. I bet on it. So we can go down with the ship together. I took Gus Edwards to score and the Ravens to win, and I got that at plus money at BetMGM. It may not be the prettiest yardage output, but it could be similar to what it did last week, like 60 and a touch. Chris says Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson for quarterback. I'm going to go Russell Wilson, who I think Russ is going to maybe cook today because he has to. Duncan says PBR late Kareem Hunt or Zach Charbonnet. Hunt's going to be on an extreme snap count. I think he's going to be looking to play more, anything more than 15. I think would be a major win. So give me Charbonnet. Evan says bench one, PBR, D-Hop, Godwin, AJ Dillon. It's probably D-Hop for me. Goff or Watson from Taj. I'm going to go, I think I have Jared Goff slightly higher in my ranks. I'll stick to that. Matthew says need to sit to Nakua, no. Ford, yes. White, Addison, Bourne. I think the other one you said is Bourne. I think Jordan Addison's going to hit the over on his player prop, which is in the low 50s in yardage. Really good chance for him to find the end zone as well. That total in the Chargers-Vikings game has skyrocketed. It's the highest on the board this week. It should be a pew-pew-pew shootout affair. So buy in any of the players you got in that matchup. Derek says, hola, Romeo Dobbs or DJ Moore. It's not DJ Moore, man. No bear. No, thank you. It is Romeo Dobbs. Patrick says, I have Jefferson and Jaden Reed going today. It's a sign between Metcalf and JSN. It's easily Metcalf. He is going to play. Even if he only plays like 2 quarters, I think he's got the best anything that JSN does. It could be a heavy Kenneth Walker the third type of affair, and maybe a whole lot of Tyler Lockett too. Luxury dynasty question. Ooh, fancy pants. PPR, Swift or Chase if Joe Burrow is out. We'll see about Burrow if he's in. I'm still going to play Jamar Chase, even if they go to Browning there in the backup. Probably going to be a lot of design, short pass plays, high percentage throws in that case. So, Chase could accumulate the catches, maybe could break one for a decent score, but I think there's more upside there with Chase than DeAndre Swift. Yeah, we're started week 3, and we're at that point with Cincinnati Bengals. Bob says, hola, you jackwagon. Yes, sir, you jackwagon. Roll with Pacheco or Dalvin Cook today. I like Pacheco, but I like Pacheco every stinking week. And the Bears are just so miserably bad, funny bad, knee-slappingly bad. Pacheco, I think he finds the end zone. Manny says Zay Flowers or Comey Myers. I'm going to go with Zay Flowers, slight edge there. Puka or DJ Moore from Aubrey. Oh, easily Puka. I got Puka as a top 15 option this week. I think I'm not alone in that endeavor. Love the Tyreek Hill anytime TD prop bet. So do I, Wondrous ATX. I grabbed it earlier this week at minus 105, thinking, hey, there's a shot that Jalen Waddle didn't play. And guess what? He ain't playing. Tyreek Hill may see about 15 targets a day. The only downside is Mathis was likely to be on Hill a ton before the Waddle injury. Now it's going to be Patrick Surtain. But still, it's Tyreek. I mean, you got to have like several horse tranquilizers, and they got to make contact with him and have any kind of shot to take him down. Bill says, hey, Brian. Hey, Bill! John, another flex question. He won a full point PPR. Gibbs, Ford, Nakua. Ford's out. Nakua's almost in, but I'm all in on Gibbs. You can't go wrong with Gibbs and Nakua. Lucky 7 situation. Wrong. The Cards are worse than the Bears. I don't think so, man. I think there is an argument that the Chicago Bears are the worst team in the NFL. At least they show that in 2 weeks. And maybe they'll prove me one day. They'll shock the world and give the Chiefs a game. But they get blown out, lose by 20 or more points. That just, scrawled in a Sharpie. Permanent ink. Bears are going to play for the number 1 pick again. And it could be Caleb Williams. Out there. Do I sit DK Metcalf and play Flowers, Addison, or Nakua? Oh, yeah, you're playing Nakua all day. Listen, folks, if you have Puka Nakua, you have to have spectacular alternatives to consider sitting him. Otherwise, you're playing him. Period of the story. I mean, the guy is seeing an obscene target share. In fact, at 39.3%, it's number 1 in the NFL. He's number 1 in yards after catch to boot through 2 weeks. Oh, I think I skipped over that. Sorry, Gypsy Queen. Brad, what up, Gypsy Queen? I need 2. Brian Robinson, Rashad White, or Kyron Williams. Oh, great options. I think Kyron Williams finds the end zone. He's already got 4 touchdowns, which is leading the NFL. And you look at Cincinnati, they're giving it 4.54 yards per carry. Really good shot that Kyron finds the end zone again. So give me Kyron for 1. And then in a PPR, slight edge of Brian Robinson. Barely. Burks or Braxton Berrios. I'm going to go with Berrios, dub season. Best of luck to you there. Brad, great name. Javonte Williams, not Javonte or James Cook. James Cook. Bill says, PPR, Gabe Davis, Jordan Addison, or Drake London. No one Drake London. No one Gabe Davis. Give me Jordan Addison. Again, that game is going to be a high-scoring affair. Shane says, hola, amiga. Hola. Pick 3 for a flex. Adam Thielen, Taysom Hill, Tank Dell, Khalil Herbert, Tony Jones, Kendrick Bourne. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. All right, so high point PPR, you can't have Taysom Hill in there. You'll be lucky to catch a ball. I like Tank Dell in this format. I like Kendrick Bourne in this format. And with Andy Dalton under center, proven veteran, give me Adam Thielen as well. Jay Red says, Ravens or Eagles defense? I'll take Baltimore, please. Todd says, hola, Brad. Start 2 running backs, Connor, Madison, Pacheco, or White. I'm already on record for saying Pacheco's going to score, so give me him for 1. Connor hate the matchup, even with Diggs out in that secondary for Dallas. They just got bodies that fly all over the field. He's probably going to be bottled up and contained. Madison, last gas as a starter in a great matchup. Or Rashad White, who could do a little bit of everything. Give me Pacheco, and I'll roll the dice on Madison and maximize the matchup. Josh says, hola to you, Josh. Gus a bus over Gainwell? Yeah. And D-Hop or roll with the tank? I'm going to go with D-Hop still, but it's really close. Xavier says, Kelly Swift or Jaylen Warren? Ooh, Jaylen Warren. Tasty little meatball he is. And I took the over on a rush plus receiving yards prop at BetMGM yesterday at 47.5 yards. And that was before the news came out that he's going to get more work. I think it could be at least 50% of the opportunity share for the Steeler tonight in a splendid matchup taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. But I'm going to go with Kelly. Slight advantage there. Matthew says, half point PPR, need a running back and a flex. Rashad White, Javonte Williams, Garrett Wilson, Jerry Jeudy. Jeudy is in. And the flex, and Javonte, Juggernaut Javonte, really tight though. Hola, amigo, Guillermo. Hola to you, sir. I had to take Dotson to the woodshed. Yeah, well, I was pissed about that last week as well. I caught 3 balls right away. They didn't catch a ball the rest of the stinking game. Need 1 full point PPR. Christian Kirk or DJ Moore. Give me Christian Kirk. Daniel says Mike Williams or Godwin and a half point PPR. I think these guys are easily going to be wide receiver 2s this week. I bet on Chris Godwin over on receptions this morning. Oh, but Mike Williams, man, there's a lot of shootout. Give me Mike Williams, please and thank you. Neil says, A.J. Dillon, James Conner, or Brian Robinson. I'm going to go Brian Robinson. B-Rob, slight edge over A.J. Dillon. James Conner's 3rd on that list, believe it or not. James says, man, I miss you on Sirius XM, bro. Well, look. If you guys want me back on air, reach out to Sirius XM and say, please, we need Senior Fun Buns. Please, we need that jackass Brad the Big Noise Evans back on air. I would consider it. I would debate it. I would weigh it. I love radio. And I'm looking for a platform for it, especially come first of the year, because you guys know, I love the NFL. I really do. But my bread and butter is college basketball. It's my favorite sport. Has been since I was an infant. Probably since I was in the womb. I mean, I grew up in Champaign, Illinois, for crying out loud. So it's in my blood. And the bracket big board is going to be up and rocking sometime, probably late January, early February. I got to find a writing platform as well because I'm unemployed there. So my voice is available. My pen is available. I'm just doing TV right now, and I'm loving it. But, yeah, I would certainly welcome an opportunity to return to the air. Jimmy says, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Here, I'd probably go Fields and chase the upside. Also, thoughts on Kendre Miller today. Man, Kendre Miller was a baller at TCU. He was way up there in total missed tackles forced. He was top 15 in the country in that category. 3.6 yards of contact per attempt last season for a team that made the national title game, though they got their heads handed to them. He's fascinating. I think he gets around 10 carries. I think there's a potential there for 40, 50 yards and maybe a score. If I'm doing anything with Miller today, it's like betting on an anytime touchdown. Outside of that, I'm kind of waiting and seeing from a fantasy football perspective, unless you're like an 18-teamer or a sicko like me that plays in a 20-teamer. Steve says, hola, sir, hola. Full point PPR, 1 out of Flowers. Kelly Ford or Miles Sanders. It's Kelly for me. I'm all in. Bonjour, amigo. Bonjour, Keith. Oh. Flex non PPR. Flowers, Gabe Davis, Atwell, Kelly. Again, it's Kelly. I'm in. Fantasy Flame running back. If you need more reasoning, I wrote about it at Noisy Huevos on the X. Gonna give it to. That's a classic DMX cut. Rest in peace, DMX. But yeah, for me, it's Kelly. I think at minimum you're looking at 60 yards and a touchdown against that exploitable Vikings defense. Mike Williams or the Sun God. I'll still take the Sun God, St. Brown, even if he's banged up. I'll roll the dice there. CC says, hola, senor. Hola. Need a flex at a full point PPR. Reynolds, Roshan. Ooh, tasty. Or Kendrick Bourne. Reynolds not 100%, and I've kind of backtracked on him a little bit as a result. I tell you what, you want the ultimate dice roll? You want to be a member of Team Huevos? And you got Huevos Gigantes? It's Roshan. Big one, also from CC. Mac the Knife or versus the Jets or Sam I Am against the Bills. I'll go Sam I Am against the Bills. Bill says Superflex, Sam Howell or Gardner Minshew. I'll go Sam Howell. Although Gardner Minshew's hair, cloth, stash, everything's gorgeous. Daniel Pittman, Nico, DJ Moore. You're playing Nico for the love of God. CC, last one. Drop one in a standard league, por favor. London, Gusta Bus, or Madison. It's got to be Madison. It's got to be full-blown RBBC starting next week. And he has looked painfully average. Mike says, hola, amigo, hola. With Jones out, that's Aaron Jones. PPR, Dillon or White versus the Eagles. Oh, yeah. AJ Dillon, slight advantage there. Love you, Brad, from Ezekiel. Kelly or Moss or Dillon. I'm still going Joshua Kelly. I'm all in. Stack of chips go in the center of the pot. Olave or Nico Collins. Oh, God. Now, this one's close, but you're starting Nico. Though I do love Chris Olave. I really do. Evan says, what the hell do I do here? Dynasty PPR already starting. Chase, AJB, that's AJ Brown. Need to start 2 more. London Flowers, DJ Moore, Lockett, Hollywood, Judy, Najee, Jamie Pearson, Jalen Warren. He's got probably another 10 names. I go out of that group, Jerry Judy. And, oh, man, Jalen Warren is so interesting to me. But no, Tyler Lockett is the other one. So Judy and Lockett for me, please. And thank you, sir. Rick says, Reynolds or Kendre Miller? Is that Craig Reynolds? I'm assuming it is. If it is, I'm going to go Craig Reynolds ever so slightly over Kendre. Derek says Javonte or Ford day. It's Javonte. It's just not a good Ford day. He's going to be great moving forward, just not this week. John says, hola, amiga, Connor, Pacheco, or Dylan. I'm in on Pacheco. Guard says, should I go Garrett Wilson on the bench this week? It depends what your other options are. They got to be pretty damn good. I got him still ranked as a top 25 wide receiver, like wide receiver 23, 24, something like that this week. Joe says, start 2, Garrett Wilson in my lineup. Josh Reynolds, not in my lineup. I got to go DJ Moore. I'm worried about that soft tissue issue with Reynolds. Maybe it flares up in game and he exits stage left. You're the best. Throw me a sledgehammer. Oh, yeah. Daddy want, daddy need, daddy gotta have it. Woo! I use this on a television show all the time. The things I come up with out of my pea-sized brain. And you guys, for some reason, like it. Thanks, Brad. My 4-year-old just yelled, daddy want, daddy need, daddy's got to have it. Hey, 4-year-old, daddy want, daddy need, daddy got to have it. And sledgehammer and everything Nico Collins, if you haven't realized already. Oh, God, I love that guy today. Luis, Flex, Pierce, or Dell, and a half-point PPR. Pierce, barely. Neil, I don't remember what the question was. Sorry, man. John says Sutton Metcalf or Jahan Dotson. Zach Dotson. I'll roll a dice with DK and hopefully we'll play the full 4 quarters. I'm no Bush Light Bob. Yeah. Old school. Yeah, for you loyal listeners of my content over the years, Bush Light Bob, icon. But I need a half point PPR pick. Addison, Bourne, or Sutton. Team Huevos. Go with Addison. Rick says Craig Reynolds or Kendra Miller. Again, I'm going Craig Reynolds. Roll Craig Reynolds. KG Unit. Pittman, Dotson, London. I guess Pittman. Don't feel great about it. Ola from Colin. Christian Kirk or Addison. I'm going Addison. Thumblicker says PPR Trust Fryermuth. Bounces back or pick up Kincaid. I go with Fryermuth. Loved you and Fun Buns and the team on other networks many years ago. Yeah. Back in the day with the Yahoo. Yeah. Another place where I was laid off. I've been laid off twice now. It sucks. Thanks, Brian, for sticking with me. Brandon says, and cheers. Start 2, Javonte Williams, Gainwell, Scary Terry, Nico Collins, A.J. Dillon, Michael Gallup, or Achane. Nico, again, and Javonte. I think I already answered this. River Craft. Craycraft, River Craycraft, or Jonathan Mingo. Give me Craycraft, man. I bet on Craycraft. I took the over on yardage and receptions. Yes, I'm sick of the head. Ad says, Ed Rock, Zach Wilson, INT minus 187 INTs versus New England MetLife. What, can I bet on 7 INTs? Oh, the odds would be so juicy. William says, hola, Bradito. Which 3 running backs on a PPR? Bijan, guaranteed. Kyron, yes. And then you got Madison, Swift, or Edwards. Give me Gus a bus. Ford or Herbert or Edwards. That would be Khalil Herbert. Yeah, I have to think of, give me first name sometimes because I think in like super flex context way too many times. Ford, no. Don't like the matchup day. Herbert, no, because it's going to be Roshan Johnson day. Give me Gus a bus. Ben says, hola, hermana. Hola. Kelly or Ford in a PPR. Joshua Kelly. Evan says, don't be in here. Flex, PPR, Algier, Laporta, or Roshan. Laporta's probably got the highest floor of all of them in a PPR. Yeah, Jacob already answered that one. Brassard says, flex and a half point PPR. DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, or Cooks. Give me Metcalf. Thumblicker, PPR flex, Addison or Kelly already starting. Justin Herbert and Mike Williams. Yeah, if you want to get as much action as you possibly can in Vikings and Chargers, I don't hate it. It's the highest total on the board for a reason. I'm going Kelly. KG Unit, Damian Pierce or Rashad White. Give me White. Jacob, I already answered it. Quit hammering me. Kanan says Warren or Najee. Give me Warren. I think he's going to get the upper hand tonight. Really do. Colin, also PPR for Breesall or Pacheco. Give me Brees. Oh, no, give me Pacheco and a PPR. Again, I think he's going to find the end zone. Lefty, Ola Mega, a little different of a question. Long-term better outlook, Jerry Jeudy or Sutton? It's probably Jerry Jeudy. I do like Cortland Sutton a little bit more as a player. Maybe as a human being. No knock on Jerry Jeudy. The pride of SMU, go Mustangs. But no, I think Jeudy's going to be the better long-term, more consistent option in that Broncos passing attack. Damn it, Jacob, I answered it. Haven't I already answered yours? Steve, Najee, Burks, Shaheed, Gainwell. Thank you. Give me Rashid Shaheed. Josh says Tank Dell over D-Hop then. It's debatable, but I'm still taking Hopkins. Yes, Jacob, I answered it. Go back if you have to. I think you're just slamming the return button. Brad's going to answer it. He's going to answer at some point. I already did, bro. Already did. Kanan Cash says, Dylan, Hopkins or A.J. Dillon in a PPR. Dylan, you listed twice. So you're already starting Ridley and Ingram. I think it's going to be Dylan. Times 1 or 2. It doesn't really matter to me. Danny says, Hammer Day, brother. Yeah. Sledgehammer. It's a banger. Peter Gabriel going to be playing in Chicago pretty soon. PBR RB Flex, Ford, Moss, Madison. I'm going to go, if you need 2, it's Moss and Madison. If you need 1, it's Moss. Not a great week for me. Defensive special teams. Yeah, well, if you're already talking about that. Titans, Packers, or Bengals. I'm going to go Titans. Yes, that is a letter. Congratulations. Whatever bot is hammering this. Standard League, roll Pacheco or play the safe bet with Zach Moss. I like Pacheco a lot, but you can't ignore the volume of Zach Moss. Go with Zach Moss. John says need a RD, running back, and there's a lot of like heavy typing and misspellings. It's kind of hard to. I'm going to assume it's a running back and a flex. PBR Connor, Mike Williams, Algier. Give me Mike Williams, and I'm going to say Algier barely. Hey, guess who keeps asking me questions? Jacob! I already answered it. Jimmy, a flex and a running back. Barkley and Montgomery out. Kendre Miller, Craig Reynolds, Juju Ertz, JSN, or McKinnon. I am going to go with Ertz for 1 and the flex. If you need a running back, I'm going to roll with Craig Reynolds. It's my guy. Pittman or Judy. Give me Judy, please. Wanderer says George Pickens or Jordan Addison. Oh, man. Love both these guys today, but slight lean to Pickens. Anand says Nakua, London, Pittman, Nico. Nico's in. And Nakua's the other one. Has to be. Steve says need to start 2 in a PPR of the following: Reed, Najee, Ford, Dylan, or Elijah Moore. I am going to go with Dylan. And honestly, I probably play Ford here. Matt says Dalvin or Craig Reynolds. Give me Craig Reynolds and roll the dice, baby. Roll the dice. John says thanks for the help. Smash the heart or like button, you jack wagons. I agree. Smash it, you jack wagons. Help a brother out. Nobody wants to appoint me for writing. Nobody wants to hear my voice on the national airwaves. That's all I got. This is live line. Hit that like button. Give me that heart. Most decorated writer in fantasy history. And I was like, oh, hey, we'll give you 50 cents to write a column first. Sean, Sid 2, Gibbs, Pacheco, Mostert, White, and a half-point PPR. Gibbs, automatic. And I'm going to go Mostert for the other one. Bring back Fun Buns on this. I miss him. I want to pay him. I'm an honest and fair person. I do this for free, for funsies. But if I bring somebody else on, it's their time, and time is worth money. So if somebody wants to sponsor this, sure, I'll pay Funson. CJ Stroud or Jordan Love. Give me Jordan Love. Alex says Drake London or Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers. Dalzluri one. Need to start 2 with a PPR of the following: Reed, Najee, Ford, Dylan, or Elijah Moore. A lot of similarities here. Give me Dylan, and I think Ford was the one I went with there. It's been a while. Yeah, it has been a while, but I'm still alive and kicking. Golf over Fields. Sure, why not? A little bit higher of a ceiling there. I think even with Jared Goff. Jonathan says, hey, Brad, would you go D-Hop or Godwin? Give me Chris Godwin, please and thank you. Hey, Danny's back. Kelly or White? Kelly for me. A couple of more. Danny says, thank you. Sledgehammer, pour reward. Daddy want, Daddy need, Daddy gotta have it. Sledgehammer home a W. And last question from Sean. Half-point PPR. Pacheco, Gibbs, White, Mostert. Sit 2, please. You're sitting White and you're sitting Pacheco. I am out of time. Best of luck in all of your various fantasy endeavors here in week number 3. Again, I'm going to be back tomorrow on the Fade 5 podcast, which you can listen to on the Fade the Noise YouTube channel. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Also, watch my television show Live Online again tomorrow, noon Eastern time on the Bally Sports RSNs and at watchstadium.com/live. I'll be back here next Sunday. There's some things cooking right now. I'm going to be doing a show with Tank Williams for the Bleacher Report, bringing down all the waiver wire rankings on Tuesday. The time always fluctuates, but there could be something very fancy coming to a screen near you, streaming platform near you on Sundays. And I'll have more details once that is firmed up in the month of October. Outside of that, enjoy your autumnal equinox party if it's still rocking and rolling. Best of luck to you in week number 3, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Adios!